Hi everyone, it's Louise with louisemckayart and welcome to my channel. And today, while I'm going to be showing you my unique purling bloom, I'm also going to talk about how I sell my art. And if you've been following me, you'll know that I create a lot of functional art, and in this case this will become a clock, and I'll share with you what works for me to move my art through my art room. Hi everyone, it's Louise with louisemckayart and welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here. As always, I have to appreciate the time that you're spending with me because you could be doing so many other things. So we're doing more experimenting today. I'm trying to scale my purling bloom to a larger size. Now this is a 10-inch, I believe. Yes, because this is 12. This must be a 10-inch little board. I haven't even taped it back because this is just for fun. It's just for experimentation. If it turns out great, I can always sand the back down. It's not a big deal. I can always fix it. But we're just here to play and see what we get. So this is something I started trying to do I did a couple years ago, all by mistake. I was using the Jessica Winterstrom faux pillow technique, and I was using the wrong top pillow. In her technique, she uses acrylic Amsterdam's black, I believe, on the top as the cover, and what I was using was Color to Go tricorn black, which is a house paint versus the acrylic paint that she uses, and I got some really weird results. The funny thing is I'm not getting those results per se like I did with that paint, and I have two different things going on. First of all, I'm using the Glidden 6011N, which is different. I used then the Multi-Pro, which I suspect that's probably the crux of the differential. And the other part is I'm using, for these as pouring mediums, the Sherwin-Williams Infinity. That is a pouring medium versus my normal Valspar A33124. So I have two variables that are different, that are seemingly causing a different outcome, but I think it's the pillow that might be the factor. Either which way, and the couple that I created already, they're really cool. So I just thought, I'm going to try to scale this. So scaling meaning I'm going to try to make this on a larger scale. So here's the Glidden eggshell. Now this time on this Glidden, I'm going to stretch it out first of all. This makes me want to do another Lazy Susan. We'll give it a whirl. We'll see what we get. Let's give that a spin, stretch it out a little bit. All right, that's probably good. During this video, as I go through, anytime I'm cleaning up, I'm going to go off camera with that because there's going to be a lot of cleanup. All right, we're going to leave it there because I'm going to add my colors. I'm going to go back to this. Yeah, we're going to add this first. And I'm going to stretch it out before I put the black on top. Okay, so let's go with the bigger one because now we have a larger piece. I need to put more paint down. And that's my only bone with this technique, is that you really are using a lot of paint. So as we go through this creation, when I'm not talking about the creation itself, I will share with you about how I got to where I am in terms of creating functional art and how I sell it. And I guess I'll start right here. In 2022, after I've been creating for a year and a half, we moved to Asheville, North Carolina, and my neighbor friend came over and asked me if I knew how to create on wood. And instead of saying no, I said, not yet. This is Deco Art's Pink Tourmaline. And this is a trick just by itself, getting the paint on here and not dripping it everywhere like I just did. So the idea here is I'm laying down several layers of paint so that after I lay down the faux pillow on the top, I will be scooping and dragging and swiping over it to get the composition. So back to my art story. When we moved here, I gave my neighbors up the street a set of coasters with the bloom, which gave my neighbor an idea for a project he was working on. He was working on this 36-inch butterfly, which I'm showing here. This is the video, which was a butterfly light on wood, and asked me to help him with the butterfly wings. Now, this was my first time working with wood and was quite an experiment, but this opened up a lot of doors for me, and I'll tell you more in a second. All right, this color is DecoArt's Lavender Frost with Artist's Loft Light Violet. So to continue the art story, my friend finished off the 36-inch light piece, took it downtown into the store where he was already selling some of his wood creations in a furniture store. And when the store owner took in the piece to tag it for sale, she asked Bruce if somebody helped him with it, and of course he said that I had helped him with it, and she asked him to introduce me to her, which we did. On his next trip down to the furniture store, he brought me along, and I got to meet the owner. This is Pearl Marmalade by Arteza. So on that first visit, I brought some coasters and some wall art, and she took everything, and she asked me if I had any other functional art. And I must have looked kind of silly, but I said, "What's functional art?" So she explained to me what functional art was and said that coasters were a good example of it. And then she took me around the store and showed me another person who had made some Lazy Susans out of wood and a different fluid art technique. And she says, this is the kind of thing I'd be looking for, some functional art. If you can do anything with functional art, I would love to have all of it. And that's what started me down this path. Last color is DecoArt's Apricot Blush with Arteza's Pearl Tangerine Orange. So being the task-oriented person I am, I went on a mission. I was trying to figure out how to make Lazy Susans and find any other thing I could possibly work on that would be considered functional art. So I searched on YouTube for functional art and didn't find anything in that category. I couldn't find Lazy Susans, I couldn't find anything. So I went on a hunt at Goodwill and looked for anything I could find that could be considered functional art. I was actually able to find a Lazy Susan, and I even found some jars, and that opened up another door for me. I'm gonna stretch this out. Somehow I gotta get the black on there without making a big mess. So back to the creation here for a second. I'm laying down the faux top pillow here and realize that that little thing that I'm putting it down with is way too small. So I end up pulling out my 6-inch palette knife, the one that I use for transferring the blooms on my ornaments, and I lay down the faux pillow with the rest of that. So back to the art journey. I got a couple Lazy Susans off Amazon and worked on those, got some practice in, and then I also worked on jars, but instead of working on the jar itself, I worked on the jar lids because I didn't see anybody doing anything with jar lids. So my journey continued. So let's stretch it out a little bit. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to have happen. That was crazy how fast that went. Wow. Oh my goodness. Holy cats. It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Okay, swipey time. I'm gonna use a larger palette knife. This is American Floetrol, by the way. I'm linking here my video 141, which is my American Floetrol Selectivator recipe if you want to see it. Persian rose. And top it off with some Australian. That is regular titanium white. Just a simple little sea swipe. I did not have the palette knife down at all. It was terrible. That was not a good swipe. I've got to press down into this. All right. We'll try that again. And actually press down into the paint. My challenge here is that there are so many layers of paint, I can't get a feel for how hard to push the palette knife down into the paint. I actually pressed down too hard that time. So back to the art journey, I started practicing on Lazy Susan, I even learned on trays, and I worked on jars. Self-teaching myself all the way through until I felt proficient enough and had success enough to take anything down to the store. Putting a little cell activator on the downside, I'm going to be scooping and pulling in this direction. I love that. Why can't I get that? Let's try something else. Let's try going through here. So about the time I felt comfortable enough to bring things down to that store, another friend of mine on the mountain saw my stuff and said, "You need to go down to this other store." And that's when my other store opened up for me. By that point, I was making Lazy Susans and trays, jars, and clocks. Yeah, I forgot to mention that my initial friend up the street that I made the butterfly wings for was asking me if I could help him with clocks. So in my early clock creations, he was helping me and I was giving him my fluid art creations. I'm not too thrilled about any of this. At this point, I'm just doing a couple Hail Marys with scoop and drag and see what happens. So with 2 stores now, I started just working mostly exclusively on functional art and then searching for all new types of functional art to create. And that's when I've ended up going now finally to creating charcuterie boards, wood boards, trinket boxes, trinket trays, yo-yos, ornaments, wine glasses, even a couple walking sticks. So to recap, a gift turned into a collaboration, turned into meeting a couple owners of stores, and then I go on from there. So back to the creation, I'm going to go on fast forward here and just do a little bit of winging with the palette knife. So back to the art journey. While I live in Asheville and there are all kinds of events everywhere, you've never heard me talk about being at any pop-up or any kind of craft fair because honestly, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to buy a pop-up tent or sandbags to hold it down and be outside during the cold and the wind and the heat and pay for the space in the first place and have to schlep my stuff into and out of the car every weekend and sit there for 8-10 hours. I mean, that's real work. And while I admire and respect anybody that wants to go through all that, that's just not for me. So part of the art journey is knowing what your parameters are. Gotta get that black to stretch out. All right, we got the one side, let's get the other. Now, while in the stores, I share a commission with the owners, I would much rather do that, get a phone call, say I need more things, and get a check at the end of the month. Here I'm starting to get a little bit of hope as I see some of the colors from underneath pushing through. I'll keep the white. So at this point, like with the Lazy Susans, it's just a matter of stretching things out to get the composition to open up until I feel like I've got enough paint off and I like the look of it. So I will be cutting out some of the spinning as I go forward, but I'm also going to include more of my story as we go forth. You know, I'm realizing I don't like getting dirty. I don't like getting dirty. Well, not like this. Don't like that still. I'm going to still go that way, and I may end up losing everything. I do like the colors. The colors are adorable. I don't want it going that way. I want it to go over here. I really like this, and I'm going to play over here in a second if I don't lose this thing. So I'm sure you've noticed that I do post a lot on Facebook groups, and it's actually through a lot of Facebook groups I've had people ask me for creations that I've posted or custom creations that they give me the color combinations for. Yeah, I've sold a lot of Lazy Susans, charcuterie boards, wood boards, ornaments, and jars just via word of mouth or people seeing my product. You know, it's growing on me. It's just crazy. It's a crazy thing. But it's kind of growing on me. So we're going to call that done. Let's just check the depth. It's not bad. We'll see if I get these pearls coming up on the sides. Give one more spin. One more spin. Yeah, then back to the art journey. So I also worked as an assistant at the Fluidartexperience here in Asheville. And then that dovetailed into an opportunity to teach classes at the Fluidart Boutique with Karen Dershwin from Waterfall Acrylics, Sarah Mack, and Mina Villegas. That was almost 2 years ago now. And that led me to an opportunity to teach with Kathleen of Cause Creations down in Fort Myers for her Patreon account. So all these little steps we take are all stepping stones toward whatever we're trying to go for. So when an opportunity comes your way, think hard about it and lean towards saying yes to it. Crazy. The thing about this is it's so not like a bloom where it's just, you're just kind of winging it. Winging it. And look at all this extra paint coming off. And having a YouTube presence has helped as well in terms of teaching. So teaching in person, teaching on YouTube, all of that has given me the confidence to teach in my workshop and also offer private tutorials where I offer a lot of different information for anybody that wants to go deeper dive into creating with fluid art. Wow, this is really cool right there, that white. So I'm going to go on fast forward here and also finish up the rest of my story. I think what's a key point here, at least for me, is that I don't need to do this. I've already had a job. I'm doing this because I love it. So I create on my terms and on my timeline, which is how I really want to do this. All right. Yeah, we're going to call that done. It's very strange. We'll see how this develops. So when that's a wrap, here are the wet results, and I'm going to follow it up with a close-up of the resined results. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, which was a little less tutorial in nature and a little more personal as far as my art journey goes. I hope you enjoyed all that. And if you want more of that kind of thing, please let me know in the comments. And if you are here, please comment, leave your thoughts and a thumbs up. And if you're new, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials. Also a reminder, I do have the complete all-in-one clock tutorial from taping off the back to finishing it off like you see it here. All the steps in between to include resin and cleaning up after the resin and finishing off the back like you see here, attaching the hands in the clock mechanism. If that sounds interesting, email me. My email's in the description. So with that, that's all I have for now, everybody. Take care. Till next time.